Hey, what's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Where am I? Where am I? Where am I? Where am I? There I am in all my white glory. What's happening? This is Eyes on Smash Bros. Radio, the only digital radio station located in Pleasant Grove, Birmingham, Alabama. You can find Smash Bros on TikTok. You can find TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, as well as YouTube. Please like, follow, share, and follow. Please like, follow, share, and subscribe if you have not done so. We appreciate you tremendously, tremendously. Appreciate you. So, as for Oz, you can find me on Twitter. You can find me on Instagram. You can find me on YouTube. You can find me on Facebook. Check me out. Check us out. Check us out. First Monday in October. That's frightening. Got what is the Halloween coming up? Then we got Thanksgiving. Then we got Christmas. Then we got tax refunds. Thank you, Jesus. Yes, I'm looking forward to my tax refund. I need the money. Damn, I look like a damn Santa Claus. I need to get that beard trimmed down. Man, the puffy ass. Hey, we're going to talk about family dynamics today. I haven't been on because I've been helping my godmom move. The house and the yard had gotten too much for her. And I think, too, that, this is the fifth year since dad has been away. And I think that because of the climate and with it being so hot and not being able to venture outside, I think that has all of that combined together has pretty much worn on her. And so 3 weeks ago, she was talking to Lewis, her biological son, and she had mentioned to him that the yard and house had become too much for her. And so now it was originally planned that she was to go to Kansas to live, but she just wanted one move. But as I stated before, it got too much for her. So the last 2 weeks, uh, what is it? She talked to Lewis on a Friday, and then the following Monday, Lewis contacted her, sent her a picture of the house from those realty sites, and asked her, did she like the house? And she said she did. He said, well, I bought it for you. So Lewis is a professional photographer. So if you've gone to O'Charlie's, Thank God It's Friday, TGIF's, IHOP, and several other, there's about a 90% chance that the pictures that you see on the menus are Lewis. And plus, Lewis has two huge studios out in California that is doing fantastic. So, but he's tired of California, so he moved to Kansas. So, long story short, he called mom, sent her the picture, said he bought it, and then because of Lewis being analytical, and then because of being a photographer, and it doesn't help that he's been in the Navy, he excuse me, he had directives for us, and we had to get a lot of stuff together. So when you have 45 years of your life in a place, it takes a lot. It takes a lot of stamina, a lot of tenacity to uproot, to move. So we pretty much have everything out so far, and so there's still a lot of stuff. Uh, then it doesn't help matters much that dad had 3 children. Uh, and because of Van Jr., Sugar, and Becky, and because of their relationship with their mom and through the history and all. Now, my godmom, is known the entire tenure that she was married to dad, which is over 45 years. So technically, she's seen them grow up from being teenagers to the adults, and then with the dynamics of them and some of the things that have transpired, it has been a learning experience. And that's why I was thinking that maybe this is a time to talk about the family dynamics. Uh, And if you're going through something to where the elder or someone in your family is having to move, I think it you we have to understand that when you have put your life into a place of over 40 something years, on the majority of your life, that it takes a lot of a wind out of you, that you're changing, that what was is no longer. And I think that we have to be patient and we have to be courteous and we have to be extremely respectful, not only to them, but also to their feelings. And that's one thing that I learned with this movement, that what we see or what we perceive as being irrational isn't being irrational when it comes to your mom or your dad or someone who's close to you moving, because they're in their heads, they know that the move is the best for them. But when you have a heavy heart and your emotions become imbibed, it takes a lot. And yes, they're going to get irritable. Yes, they're going to strike out. Yes, they're going to be annoying. Yes, yes, yes. But we have to keep in mind that this is their life. This what was. And so now, out of those 40 plus, 45 plus years, now you're going to have to downsize and you're going to have to decide what is most valuable, what is most important to me. And it's hard to do when everything has equal value. And it's really hard for them to decide, well, I can't take this. I can't take this with me. And then when you have individuals, especially when you're pretty much a loner and you like being alone, then you have these intrusions of individuals coming in and they're making the decisions that this goes, that go, and this has it frightens you. And then when you have when you were one, I think when they moved in, they were the third of the. I think they were the third house to be built where they are. So they had all that other terrain and forest and all, and so now I wanted to find out what was behind the fence. Well, you never even ventured to ask, and then for some of your plants to be given away without your permission. I mean, you're a fucking stranger. So with all that going on, and then with dad passing away, the relationship or the dynamics that mom had with his three children is somewhat changed. Because yes, the house, and I understand where they're coming from, because the house was their anchor. That was their peace. And I remember when my grandmother passing away, I felt like an orphan because I didn't have a home to go to. I didn't have that security of, yes, I have a place that I can go to whenever I want to. I don't have that. I don't have that um, peace. I don't have that security of knowing that I have a home. So I had to readjust. And I can't, when you know that you're losing a home, what you felt was your foundation, what you felt was your security, your fortress, is no longer there. And then we have the youngest one, Becky, coming in and snatching up everything. Now, what really started the originally, and again, originally, it was understood. Well, I thought it was understood that I was supposed to get all the plants, everything out in the yard. And when mom passed away, and so, but because of her still being here, she gave me some things that I didn't even think about. She gave me the St. Francis fountain and some other stuff, which started the domino effects, because the three, as I call them, didn't seem to understand. She can give me whatever she wants to give me. It doesn't belong to you. And even what she has in the house, you may think is yours, but in all actuality, it's not yours. It belongs to her. She can give whatever she wants to whomever she wants to. And so that was another factor that was put into the equation because there was a lot of petty jealousy. And I've always told them, Mom and Dad, that y'all need to quit boasting about what I do because those three have funny looks on their faces and they're jealous. So, and then for the youngest one to call the brother, not the son, the brother, and tell him that I'm overstepping my bounds, it really startled me because I see. So, like I said, I knew my place. So, if you were really upset, the one to have called would to have been Lewis because Van Jr. ain't going to do shit to me. He's not even in the equation because he has no substance. So dealing with that, whew. So I started thinking that because I never went through this with my family because the way that we were raised, the way that I was raised, you stay in your place, you know your place, you accept your place. So with me being the eldest of the grandchildren, I knew my place. I knew my obligations. I knew my responsibilities because that's the way I was raised. And I think that maybe one thing that's missing now with these younger generations, do they have obligations? Do they know what the obligations are? Do they know what the responsibilities are? Do they know what expectations are? Have y'all sat down what have y'all done to make sure that everyone knows their place, they stay in their place, they accept their place? Have you had that talk? And sometimes you need to have the talk so that way people will understand that this is where I stand in the family. Because whether or not we wish to acknowledge or not, there's hierarchy in the family. So, and then it comes to mind too that when your mom and your dad passes away and their siblings still remain, do you still have those obligations that you did while your parents were still living to their siblings? Do you still allow that one aunt who is messy, who is evil, who says spiteful things? Do you still allow her to say those things? Because with her being a sibling, your mom and dad allowed her to do that. So do you still continue with what was allowed? And in some cases you cannot, because they don't have the same relationship, the same dynamics that they did when those individuals were living. Do you still have gatherings? Is there still that one individual in the family in which knows that, well, we're having Thanksgiving here, it's always been here, it should continue? No. Hell no. I did that only because Mama expected me to do it. Now, Mama's no longer here, so I don't want to do it. Now, if y'all wish to do it someplace else, y'all can, but you're not going to do it here. You're not going to do it here. I'm not obligated to you. I'm obligated to my mama and to my daddy. I'm not obligated to you. You were just some of the benefits. You just received some of the benefits because of my standing and my relationship with my mom and dad. So what you did when mom and dad was living, we may still continue. We may not. Mostly may not, because I'm tired. And that may get to the point to where there are no gatherings and then there's just a few. It happens in families. Dynamics change. Relationships change. Understandings change. What was understood is no longer understood. So when mom and dad leaves, the patriarchs, when they leave, who takes over? Who takes their place? Is it the oldest member of the family, which is the oldest aunt? Because, see, you have to understand that too. Your mom and dad was the matriarch and patriarch of your core family. Now, if you have a close tightness and you know that you have that one aunt and uncle who is the oldest of everybody, do they continue to have that position? See that when you're dealing with families dynamics and all, it comes some questionable and some rocky situations, and it really makes your head hurt. But it's based on your family dynamics. We don't have family reunions no more. We used to go down to Mobile for the Swanson's reunion, and then we used to go out to the country for the Kellys. I think it's Swanson's or Swenson's down in Mobile. That was an annual thing that we always did. Then we always went to this church in the country that everyone would gather, which was, I think, the Carters and the Kellys. But we don't even do that anymore. At sometimes I do miss it, and most of the times I don't, because I don't have that relationship. But see, I never had that closeness per se. My closeness was with my core family. My main thing is that if you're a third or fourth cousin, we're not kin. I have to claim the first and second cousin because the blood is thick. And then again, it's left up to my interpretation, which means that if I don't see you during those holidays, if I don't see you during Thanksgiving and Christmas, we're not kin. Now you're kin to my you're kin to my grandmama, but you're not kin to me. I don't have that closeness. I don't have that understanding to you. So don't expect the same things from me that you expected from her, because you're not going to get it. I don't have that love with you. No. Not here, dude. So see, you have all of that transpiring, going around you. And you have to understand exactly what are going to happen, what changes are going to occur. And how are you going to deal with this? Because as in every family, you're going to have those individuals that you feel the most close to. And then you're going to have those individuals that you don't give a happy goddamn about. But you had to deal with them. You had to tolerate them because of your mom and your dad. So see, it comes to a point to where you have to decide, are we still going to continue doing this or are we not? But it's left up to you and your family to decide exactly what's what. So dealing with these 2 weeks with my mom, I think that I'm on the right track in that I have laid out that my funeral is dealt with. No one has to make a decision about anything. Everything is done. They know exactly where everything is located. They know exactly who to contact, and everything's laid out. I think State Farm has this insurance down to where no medical exam is required or needed that I set up, and the funeral home is a beneficiary to that. So, I have to meet with them sometime next week to let them know that that's so rude. To let them know that I want the cheapest out there. I'm not spending no $30,000 for a damn funeral. For what? Not needed. And see, as mentioned earlier and numerous times before, I feel that funerals are really for the living. It's a way of individuals easing their conscience for things that they should have done. But it's too late. It's too late. You should have, whatever you were saying on that stage about how much you love and respect, you should have said it while they were living. So see, I'm not giving anybody a stage or a platform to ease their conscience. Not on my dime, not on my time. I want me now. I want to know how much I'm appreciated. I want to know how much I am loved and all that other rhetoric. I want to know it. I want my yellow roses now. And I don't think I'm asking for too much. And if I am, so be it. But we have to keep in mind that things change in the family. Dynamics change in the family when things happen in the family. We have to understand that. And there's nothing wrong with making changes, especially when it's benefiting your family. And that's the most important thing is your family. Fuck everybody else. What is happening in your family? Between you, your wife, and your children. What is beneficial to them? Yes, you know that they need to be around their cousins and all, but sometimes some cousins you don't want your children to be around. They don't have the same expectations. They don't have the same responsibilities. They don't. So you have to be extremely cautious with what cousins your children are around. And again, we have to understand what was is no longer. The elders of the past are no longer. So who steps up as being the elder? Who steps up as being the spokesperson for the family? And may come to the point to where the one that was expected to be the spokesperson isn't. It's time to set boundaries. It's time to re-examine the expectations, the obligations. It's time. And I've learned this in the 2 weeks, but I knew this all along because I never had to go through this, but I knew it all along. These 2 weeks, have been something else. Been something else. It's really mind blowing to actually be able to see how people's countenances change. Because Becky came down like Becky came down like a hawk, and sure enough, she took a lot of stuff. And she lives in the mountains in North Carolina, and so she doesn't per se have a lawn or a yard. And some of the shit that she took because she knew that I wanted it, and she didn't want me to have it. I explained it to me. I don't even know. Mom had some fertilizer for the yard, the lawn, and Becky doesn't have one, so she wanted it. And I was like, wow. So, the 28th, 29th, and 30th, I didn't go over to Mom's house because I figured that all the three were going to be together, and I did not want to be in the mix. Fortunately, Becky didn't go, which is a blessing because it would have been totally chaos. But that is not the place to have any type of disagreement or any type of discussion, heated discussion, because you're not there to release your soul per se. You're there to help pack. And see, after Dad passed away, Mama told everybody, you need to come and get this. You need to come and get this. You need to come and get this. And they did not come and get it. So, it's mind blowing that you see the actual individuals come out during funerals. You see the attitudes during funerals and weddings. So, I'm alleviating so that way it's mainstream. I'm not having a wake. I'm not having a graveyard service. I'm not having a service. I'm not having all that bullshit. You know what I look like. I'm not gonna. I don't want you to see me while I'm dead. So, it is my intention that if I die on a Monday morning, I want to be buried Monday evening. But I'm understanding that they don't do that. So, no one's to be notified. Nobody's to be notified. So that's the way I want it. So it is what it is. But when it comes to your family, each family has its own type of temperament, its own type of atmosphere. So you have to, what will benefit one family will not possibly benefit another family. It won't work because of the dynamics. Sometimes the struggle is hard. Sometimes the struggle is hard, especially when it comes to your parent siblings. And we always have that one aunt we can't stand, that one uncle that is drunk and does questionable things. We most of some families have those, and they have been allowed to do that. You're not obligated to allow them individuals to continue that. You were just being respectful because of your mom and your dad and your grandma. But dear, you don't have to do that now. You choose whatever. So it was an opener. It was an eye opener for me. It was a learning experience for me. So, but think about what if. Have you had that discussion? Do you know where the documents are? Are the documents in one location? Who is to take if who takes over the responsibility of arranging the funeral? How many people are going to be involved with arranging the funeral? And I don't understand why people wait a week because such and such is out of town. 9 times out of 10, these individuals that you're waiting for, they were never around on a regular basis or an annual basis. You rarely saw them. So why are you taking your energy and your time? They didn't respect those individuals while they were living. Why would you give them their right? What right do they have? You're going to wait a week for 2 individuals to come because of whatever, but they never were around on a continuous basis. Did they even talk on a regular basis? And even if they did talk on a regular basis, why would you wait a week? I don't make it make sense. If they were not around on a regular basis, if they weren't there on an annual basis, if they weren't there, whatever, why would you wait a week because they're not being here? Get over it. Yes, we know you're hurt. We're hurting too. Some things need to change. Some things need to stay the same. In your family, you should know if you want to tell what should change, what you want to change. When the elders was living, the elders were together on a constant basis because they were raised together. You had that closeness. Then as the elders passed away, each time a little bit of formality went. But it's time to think. It's time to come together and decide that, well, this and this, we know that this is all the documents are in this location. We need to take care of this. We know where the funeral, we know what funeral, we know exactly where the burial policy is. And if you don't have a burial policy, you should have a burial policy because it's cheap. Spending $80,000 on a damn coffin is ludicrous. They're not going to know. And plus, it's going to be in the ground. Give me a break. I wonder, do they rent coffins? They have a rent a coffin. You can rent a coffin, but spending $80,000 for a damn coffin and for a funeral to cost over 20, to cost between 35. I don't understand it. Make it make sense. We want to send her off on the right way. Well, you should have sent her off. You should have been taking care of her when her ass was living. And 9 times out of 10, they would not have wanted you to go in debt to spend this exorbitant, stupid amount to put their ass in the grave. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Because I don't understand it. Don't understand it. So I have to go over to mom's. I don't know what I'm doing today, tell you the truth, but I had to come in because I miss being in. I wanted you to know that I'm still living. And so, and to hopefully put some things out there so that way you would think, give you something to ponder. But if you don't know, if you don't know all those, where the forms, where the documents are, where they're stashed, who has responsibility for the funeral, do you know a funeral home? Do you have a plot? Do you have a cemetery plot? That needs to be discussed now. It does not need to be discussed after. It needs to be discussed before. And yes, it's going to be hard. Yes, it's going to be hard. But those decisions should be made now, so that way they're not as hard as they would have been if there were no instructions in the beginning. So I appreciate y'all. I will be back hopefully next week, because what is it? There's some things that I have to take care of over at the house. There's some concrete blocks that have to be removed before the realtors come in. So, but I wanted to stop in and let you know that I do appreciate you, that I do miss you. Hopefully provide you or give you some type of understanding or a start on what may be a necessity when it comes to your family. So I appreciate you. Appreciate you stopping in. Know your value, know your worth, know that you are the ones that bring obstacles to yourself. And most importantly, know that I love you more than I love my luggage. I will see you sometime next week. Y'all take care. Love you. The live stream on the show. On the show. The live stream. On the show. On the show. On the show. The live stream. The live stream on the show.